Because we wanted to include the community in, show them what the police department does on a daily basis, not just like the administrative offices, but what officers are actually out there doing, the detectives, with crime scenes, with the media, what we do with the media, just every facet of the department. We wanted to teach them what we do. K-9's use of force, just to educate them so they have a better understanding. They could take it back to their community and share it with their neighbors of what we're doing. Bike law, criminal investigations, crime analysis, social media emergency management, victim witness rights, patrol procedures. I can go on and on, but it covers like a different part of every part of the police department and what we do. And we go through scenarios sometimes with traffic law. Sergeant Holmes will take them outside and let them do real traffic stops out in the back parking lot and let them see how a real traffic stop goes.
We use simunitions. The guns look real, they feel real, but they sort of shoot a little paint bullet. So they're safe for the people to use. All the residents would benefit from this class. This recent class had our mayor and one of the council members, and I think they thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope they recommend it to some of the constituents.
I really enjoyed having a chance to get to know the police department a little bit more and learn more about the services that they offer and some of the challenges that they face. I was really surprised kind of to get a picture of all the different things that they do. I think oftentimes we think of there just being traffic patrols or things like that you kind of have in your head that a police officer does. And so it was really interesting to get a broad range of different perspectives on what they do and to hear from a variety of different officers about how they experience their job. It gives you a perspective on the police department that I don't think you get otherwise, I was just really happy with all the interactions that we got with the police officers and really grateful to them for all the energy that they gave us and the willingness to answer our questions and talk with us.
The reason why I took the class is I had heard about it before from a neighbor, and so I was like, well, it sounds interesting, so I wanted to see how what really goes on in a police officer's life. So I enjoyed the class. I would recommend it to anyone in the community to take the class to find out that to serve and protect is a lot behind that saying.
I've done other classes just like this one, and this one is actually one of the best that I've done so far. Take the class, take advantage of it, especially it's free, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people enjoy it.
It's a great collaboration between the law enforcement and the community. I'm ecstatic to be here tonight with the graduates. I think it's a great program. These individuals, including the mayor and a council member, have got an opportunity to see firsthand what we do as far as traffic stops, as far as community relations, as far as firearms. So it's a great program. And connects us with the community.
It's just been really a wonderful experience. I have new friends that I've met, and not only that, but I've actually called on Kathy. Hey, Kathy, what about this? So now that there's more of a connection. There's a link in the community. I think the class affords people the opportunity to expand a little more. Not so much their horizon, but their connections to the people in the community. I loved doing the Emergency Operations Center, and about 6 years I can retire, and so I can even volunteer to do something like that. I do a lot of volunteering while I'm working, but on the side, and so it just gives me an opportunity to give me exposure to let me know that there are other things that I can do locally.
My grandfather was a police officer in New York City, and so I lived with him when I was growing up, and so I'd been around police officers and guns and things, and actually seeing the firearms that the police officers use now was very interesting.
It just was a chance to kind of talk one-on-one with a lot of different police officers, which you don't always get a chance to do otherwise. And so just kind of hearing from them and hearing about what they do every day, I think gave me a different perspective on what it's like to be a police officer.
I feel safer, and I think that there's a lot going on in the news lately, and I know that there are many different sides. So I like to really understand different people's points of view. I especially love the classes where the police officers and the captains and the sergeants that presented to us were passionate and love their jobs, which is almost everybody that works in the Takoma Park Police Department.
It is an interesting perspective to be able to talk to people when there isn't a heightened awareness or there isn't anxiety on either side. Everyone's just kind of relaxed, saying, "Here's what I do. Here's why I do it," and you get to kind of figure it out and talk about it. It just made it a lot more enjoyable, and it takes a lot of the tension out of it. So Now, if you do get stopped, you're like, all right, these are not faceless people. I know they're actual officers, and they have lives too.
The class was great. It was very educational from start to finish. The biggest downside of the class, I just missed a few sessions, which I'm hoping to make up next year when it's offered again. You learn a lot about law enforcement, especially from the law enforcement perspective. The ride-along was a great time, and I'd really recommend it to everyone.
It's been fun. If you have an interest in policing, if you have an interest in what the police are up to, what they're involved with, how they can help, it's a great opportunity to meet the police department and learn about them.
I signed up for the academy to just get a better idea of what the police force in Takoma Park is doing. There's been so much in the news about police behaving badly, and I just sort of wanted to get the other side of that perspective. And my perspective going into it was that I really didn't have any idea what was going on in my community by way of policing. So it was nice to put some names to the parking tickets.
All of the officers who came to present were very informative. They had really good presentations. There were some hands-on segments that I thought were a lot of fun. I had a good time. I'd recommend it to anyone. I didn't really know much about the Takoma Park Police Department going in, but now that I've taken this class and listened to the talk, I came out feeling that we just have a very good police department. I really like the culture, starting with the top, the officers and the captains at the top, going all the way down. And I think we just have very good policies, very good procedures. I'm really glad that we have our own police department in this city.
Listening to the students, there are some topics that they think that need longer. Like, I know when one of our detectives talks about gangs, they want him to have a whole class. The canines, they want to have a whole class. Patrol procedures, where they learn how to clear buildings and rooms, they love that and want to have a longer class. So I'm trying to figure out how to get 16 weeks out of it without people getting worried that it's too long of a commitment. Every year it gets better and better, especially because I get feedback from the students about what they would like to see in future ones. So this being our 5th one now, I've taken all those notes and I keep working on them. And I know this class tonight said that they wanted to come to class last Tuesday night, even though we didn't have class last Tuesday night. I wish we could keep going. I mean, I would do this for more weeks than just 12.
The other instructors will take their feedback on what they liked about the class, what they didn't. We're probably going to add some additional time to the 12 weeks we already have, because the last two classes wanted more in certain subjects.
I have a greater appreciation for all that our department does, and from learning and getting to meet our dispatchers to Diana Dean, our victim services person, to learning more about what CATHY PLEVY does for public information, to our patrol officers, to parking enforcement. It just gives you a greater understanding of the whole range of services that our department provides.
I highly encourage all of our residents to come out and enjoy this program. If you don't know what the police do, if you're skeptical about what we do, this is an eye-opening experience that I'm sure you will enjoy.